convenience, allowing those who are unable to attend to listen to the recordings after the meetings. The recordings will be publicly available on the ISO webpage for a limited time following the meetings. The recordings and any related transcription should not be reprinted without ISO's permission. We'll go through the following agenda today. We'll talk about map stage availability, the initiatives and how we are doing about it. Known issues with ADS. We're going to talk about some upcoming changes for ADS. And we'll talk about the known issues for DRRS and master file. I'm listening to some noise from somebody's end. Everybody please go to mute unless you want to ask a question? Thank you. Then we'll go through the initiatives individually, and I'll give to the participants to ask any questions if they have any. And then we'll talk about next steps. Map stage availability, you can always refer to portalmap.kaiso.com to get recent updates on any availability. We don't have any current map stage maintenance. Upcoming map stage maintenance is on 28 to 31. We'll do network testing, and there will be potential multiple brief interruptions. 828 will do master file API and also CMRI UI API for fall 2020 release deployment. The system will be unavailable during that time. On 3rd of September to 4th of September, we have some maintenance going on ADS UI and API, and the system will not be available.
Anshuman. This is Andrea from Southern California Edison. Will MapStage not be available completely from the 28th to the 31st, or it's only not available intermittently?
Hi, Andrea. This is Chen. Thanks for the question. So if it is unavailable, then it would be intermittently only. For the network testing that is happening, we don't expect outages necessarily to all of the systems, but you may notice some potential intermittent brief interruptions. Yeah.
Okay, so theoretically, we could continue testing in MapStage tomorrow?
That is correct. So the only extended outage that we have planned for tomorrow is potentially CMRI, and that would be a closure of the UI and API.
Okay.
But otherwise, all systems available.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
This is question. Yeah.
Hi. This is Vipul here from Southern California. So DRRS, UI, and APIs are not impacted. It's only CMRI and ADS, right?
So for tomorrow, for the network testing, that intermittent potential brief interruption applies to all systems. So you may notice, interruptions and blips on the DRRS even, and so you would just reconnect if you do experience that. But the extended closure for tomorrow, the potential one is for CMRI, which after the deployment would have some further testing and certification for us to do before we make that system available to you again. But internally, we are having discussions on that CMRI drop for EIM 2020 enhancements to see if we combine that into the later maintenance towards the end of September. So that we have one CMRI outage and deployment, but that is TBD. So I think at most you should plan for CMRI to be unavailable all day tomorrow in MapStage. And if not, then we would move that and consolidate that with the mid-September CMRI maintenance for EIM 2020. Okay?
Okay, but the DRRS application will still be up. It's not down. I can see the intermittent issues, but not the complete closure of it, right?
Yeah, that's correct. The application itself will remain running and stable. What will be potentially interrupted is your access or the ability from external customers to access our network to get to the DRRS UI and API. So that's the interruption itself, but the application continues to run. And so if you notice that disconnection, it's just from the network, and the app would still be running in the background. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And then for the master file API, I'm sorry that it turned out on the slide to be on the same line as CMRI, but master file API is just a brief interruption of for a deployment to resolve the known issue that we have. Okay.
Thank you, Trang, for the update. Any more questions here?
Hello. Hi, this is Carlos from SE.
Hi, Carlos. Go ahead.
Maybe you covered this already, but what's the status on the ADS API accessibility? Is that officially working as expected?
Are you asking about the access to ADS application or the brief introduction that
the functionality. So we're trying to do some tests with the original version 7 of the ADS API, just to see if everything works as expected, and we have some 405 issues and handshake issues. So we're wondering if it's something that it's a known issue, or if there's something else going on.
Hi, Carlos. Do you have an Open City case for your V7 access in MapStage?
No. I was wondering if it's not a known issue. I was planning to raise it.
Okay, so there is one clarification that we wanted to make, that I think that there was also a customer email that went out for. So what we communicated is for the ADS web services, we introduced V8 and would support V8 and V7. What wasn't, I guess, as broadly communicated was that even though the existing URL for V7 and the API, the existing API would work, there are a new set of IPs that the existing URL would redirect to. So even if you're still using V7 and don't plan to cut over to V8 yet, there are additional new IPs that you would have to whitelist in MapStage and Stage and even production to use V7. So listening to what you presented, I think that may be the cause, but I can send you additional information on that separate from the other customer communication that I believe has gone out, and then we can work through it that way, and then have you open a city for any additional tracking. Okay?
Okay, great. Sounds good. I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
One more question. In the last point, you have mentioned MapStage weekly maintenance window Friday. Tomorrow is Friday, so it was 8/28. What's the date you are mentioning here for the weekly maintenance window?
Is this for the intermittent, for the network testing?
The last point, the MapStage weekly maintenance window Friday.
Yeah, so that is our standard window, but from time to time there may be exceptions to that for us to expedite changes in that may benefit your testing that you're doing, or because there's other changes, other constraints that we have to work around. So yes, usually our maintenance window is Friday for anything that we can plan for that time. We would try to schedule it for Friday, but there are exceptions to that. So what you'll see is the ADS, we try to call out that maintenance will start on next Thursday instead of waiting for Friday. And in that case, we would run it by you and then see if there's any issues. But yeah, our weekly maintenance window is Friday, where the environment is still available unless there's maintenance that we would communicate via this call. So all the other systems that aren't listed on here for tomorrow's maintenance will remain available.
Okay, so it will be applicable for both UI as well as APIs, right?
Depending on the system, we would call out if we were just doing the UI or the API or both. So like for tomorrow, we're doing master file just for the API and not the UI, and we would specify that. Yeah.
Okay, but DRRS is currently out of this window right now.
Yes, correct. We don't plan any maintenance on DRRS for tomorrow's maintenance window. That is correct.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Trent.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for the questions. Let's move on to the next slide. I'd like to bring your attention to the 3 projects. ESDR Energy Storage and Distributed Energy Resources Phase 3 project. We completed its run on 19th, but we plan to rerun it on 9/2, 2nd of September. Also, we have passed the QRB, the Quality Review Board for Market Settlements Timeline Transformation and Access Behind the Meter, and we would be using trading day of 25th of August for settlements processing. Any questions here?
Hey, Anshuman, this is Isaac from SC.
Go ahead.
Hi. So we're still not passing the ADS replacement scenarios, the ones with the AS test and contingency. Can you and I sync up after this call so that we can run those scenarios? We would like to see. Yeah, we would like to see basically those scenarios played out for offline resources because we want to see the startup and shutdown instruction behaviors. Noticing that, if we don't get to, I'd like to get that wrapped up this week because it looks like next week for a couple of days, the ADS will not be available. And then the following week, it looks like you guys are going into parallel production. So we really do need to get these ADS scenarios validated and closed out.
Definitely. We can definitely connect after this meeting and work through the ADS request that you have. Also, our project management team is trying to connect with the SEE to schedule some time with our SMEs and market participants like you to go through your issues and concerns with the ADS product.
Great. Yeah,
so we'll be reaching out to you to schedule that meeting.
Sounds good. I think I provided you with some times in the email, so let me know which one works for you.
Thank you.
Hi, Anshuman?
Yes, go ahead.
This is Chris Van Vactor. You said that the market settlement timeline transformation and access behind the meter production had passed a QBR board or something like that. What is that?
That is our internal process to make sure that the projects that we are going to proceed and deploy to production has passed our quality review criteria and are stamped to go to production.
Okay. It's a little odd that market settlement timeline transformation, you have it on here as the settlements are still processing, and it's past the quality review board.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for the question, and Anshuman for the explanation too. Thanks for calling that out. So for the market sim quality review, so what we mentioned on Monday's call is that we would still, we were planning to run both of these projects, their scenarios, with customers on trade date 8/25. But the process before that is that we take all of the code and we run through the scenarios, a dry run, if you will, internally to make sure and to validate our results for the end-to-end and those scenarios internally. And then those are the results that we then present to our internal board to certify our readiness to execute those scenarios externally with you, with our customers. And so we just had that final review of these two efforts to certify that they met our readiness criteria internally to where we could, guide you to run these externally with you and guide you to use those results for trade 8/25 for your testing. So I hope that helps explain that a little bit more. Usually we would have had the decision. We try to have the decision before that trade date actually occurs, but there were some other items that we had to review this week. And so we just wrapped that up. Okay, so does that help, Chris, or did you have any other questions about our internal validation of those scenarios?
Yeah, I have a lot of other questions, but I can ask at another time. Thank you.
Okay, anytime, Chris. Thanks.
Hey, and
thank you for that.
I just also wanted to clarify that the Anshuman actually just misspoke when he meant to say this is ready to go into market sim, not to go into production. So I just wanted to clarify that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions on this slide? Okay, moving on. this slide is similar to what we presented last week. There's no timeline changes for the known issues for ADS. The estimated fixed date are still 4th of September. We plan to receive all of those all these 9 items by then. The 10th item, we still don't have a date of when we'll receive a fix for this. We have some upcoming changes coming for ADS, and I would like to invite Firdaus to present this to our market participants.
Yeah, hey, thank you, Anshuman, for this opportunity. And thanks everyone, all who provided all the feedback. And based on the several of your feedback and our operator feedback as well, we see that in our interval grid we have that FMMAS/energy, that interval grid filter and checkbox. That is, when we merge things together, it's getting confusing for people. So we plan to make it a little simple. So that we'll be renaming this FMMAS/EN column is just to represent as an FMMAS. So basically, it's a rename of the level, and with that, we'll be also changing when you use the filter box, there's a resource filter. If you click on the checkbox, it will be only filtering the operating reserve portion, basically SR, NR, the spin reserve and non-spin reserve regulation up and down hour. But if you don't if you do not filter it, then it will always display the all applicable product for your resources in the resource grid display. So as a highlight, the changes will be renaming the column name, and when you use the filter, the checkbox, it will only filter that 4 product only, the product type. So with that, some other minor changes we have to do just to make it sequential, so that you see there will be no changes for the on the FMMAS pop-up or visual alert or the audio alert, but for the FMM energy, for audio alert and pop-up there will not be any change. Only change will be that that you see that right now the red flashing in the same column, as we'll be renaming it FMMAS/EN to FMMAS only. So we will not be flashing that column when for the FMM energy batch. So that change is only applicable to the EY. So there will be no change from the API. So from the API side, when people try to retrieve those, this will be still treated as a 2 different separate batch. Actually, it will be a separate batch in both ways, EY and API. That will be remain as batch type 11 and 3. So and everything else you would be able to see it as is, no change. So if I summarize one more time, the change is on the checkbox. When you click on the checkbox to filter the resources, it will only filter the operating reserve, which is only those 4 commodity only. And we will be also renaming the column name from FM just to remove the energy portion of it. You will be seeing it only for the AS award. That's all, Anshuman.
Thank you so much, Firdaus. Does anybody have any questions for Firdaus here?
Hey, Firdaus, this is Isaac from SCE again. So I think I kind of figured out that we're not seeing the FMM Energy Award in our ADS. I'm wondering if we're the only one, or other participants also experiencing this problem.
Thank you, Isaac. Yeah, I looked at your CD ticket, and one of my colleagues is going to respond to you. So I think he might have already put the comment there. So the resource you provided, I think that did not have the energy award, but we are seeing you have energy award for other resources, FMM energy. So my colleague will respond to your ticket shortly. If you still see that issue, I can directly talk to you and see where it is. But we are still saying you have the FMM energy for those resources.
And also, we could discuss this in the meeting we're going to schedule. with SE.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sounds good, thanks.
So any more questions here?
Hi, Ashman. This is Ray calling from PG&E. Are these coming changes scheduled for September 4th as well, or are they going to be in there earlier?
Ray, this is still, we are this is coming a little late as we could not include it as a 9/4 release. So as of now, we don't have a date yet, but we are hoping to get it sometime when we're during a parallel operation. So definitely before going to the production, we will make these changes. And unfortunately, we cannot include it in the 9/4 build because it will require some change, and we don't want to interrupt our what we have already committed.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on. There are the following two issues for DRRS and master file, advanced filter issue, and the application disconnect and connect icon. These two issues are still open, and we don't have an estimated fixed date for them. Energy storage and distributed resources phase 3, I just wanted to bring to notice to all the market participants that we're going to do a rerun on 2nd of September. And the setup needed is mentioned as below. Sorry, the PDR LSR curtailment. If market participant wants to see only energy award, then submit very cheap energy bids. If market participants wants to see AS award, say spin, submit very expensive energy bids and $0 spin bids. For PDR LSR consumption, avoid submitting large negative energy bids. Suggested bid around -$1. The structured scenario documents is available at the following link, and the training document is available at the second link. Any questions here? Okay, moving on. As I mentioned earlier, market settlement timeline transformation, we're going to still do the cutover for 8/24/20, corresponds to production trade day 1/1/21. The phase 2 MSTT and excess behind the meter production structured scenarios first settling trade day will be 25th of August. Structured scenario document is available at the first link, and the training document is available at the second link. Similarly, for excess behind the meter, the first settling trade day will be 25th of August, and it will cut over with MSTT project with the trading day of 24th of August. Structured scenario documents and training documents are available at the following links. ADS replacement project. We did structured scenarios on 11th of August. We did a rerun on 18th of August, and we're still working with market participants to review all their concerns and making sure that this project is a success. The training documents, there are a few training documents available at the following links, and we are also working on a guide. And let me see if Gina is on the call. Gina, could you update us on the guide for filtering?
Hi, yeah, this is Gina Wanzer from the Customer Readiness Group. I was the one that delivered the training that's listed here. We are working on a user guide, as Anshuman mentioned, and the target release is sometime next week, at least in a draft form, if anything, so that you guys do have it. I did receive some feedback that filtering would be really useful sooner than later, so I'll see if I can get something at least on filtering a little bit earlier. But right now, the target release date, at least for a draft, is next week sometime. That's all I have.
Thank you, Gina, for the update. Any questions here?
And sorry, Anshuman, I probably should do what I was talking with you earlier about. If there is specific feedback in terms of what would be useful in terms of the filtering, please feel free to enter that into the chat, and I'll take a look at including that as well.
You could also send an email to marketsim@kaiso.com, and we'll have a record for it, and that will help Gina to accumulate all the responses and provide the guide that is very useful to you. All right, thank you, Gina, for the update. Moving on. FERC order number 841 requested adjustment. Settlement statement was published. If market participants could tell us that they have verified on their end, that will be great, and we can pass this scenario for this project. Commitment cost and default energy bid enhancement. This project is available to test till 4th of September. Feel free to do any kind of unstructured testing that market participants wants to do. The training document for this project is available at the following link. Similarly, commitment cost enhancement tariff clarification project is available till 4th of September to test on map stage. Dispatch operating target tariff clarification. This project structured scenarios were performed on 12th of August, and they have all completed successfully. The structured scenario document is available at the following link, and the training document is available on the second link. We'll have the next meeting on 31st of August at 2 p.m. Now I will open up the floor for any questions.
Hello, this is Carlos from SE.
Go ahead, Carlos.
Well, something else. So we're having some issues with some information not being up to date in map stage from production. Some things like resources, PMAX, and that kind of thing. Is there a way to refresh map stage, or is that something that happens periodically, or could that be something that can be done as per a CVG request? What will be the approach for this?
Please send us an email at marketsim@kaiso.com, and we'll take care of the details that you want to get refreshed.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem. Any more questions here?
Yeah, Shuman, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you, Isaac.
Hi, this is.
I think your voice is chopping out. Did we lose you?
Sorry. Our metering service group just tried to submit meter service data for your structured scenarios on 825, and they're having some errors. They sent an email to MarketSim. Can you take a look at it after this? Let us know if they're doing wrong.
Definitely. Thank you for sending out the email.
Hi, this is Jason from APS. I'm having a similar issue with my resources where a large majority of my gen resources aren't showing up in the map stage ADS. I put in a city ticket, but I haven't got a response, and I put that city ticket in about 2 weeks ago.
Can you tell me the city ticket number, and I'll get back to you?
Certainly, 00227431.
Thank you. I will reply to that city ticket as soon as possible.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Also, I would like to mention here that tomorrow is the last date for submitting the meter data for the MSDT project, MSDT and access behind the meter project for initial statement processing. And for recal, the date is 2nd of September. So please keep these dates in your mind. Go ahead. Somebody was asking a question.
Hey, Anshuman, I'm Vipul from Southern California. 228088 is the city ticket which we raised yesterday. It's just for our testing purpose. We are testing one of our variant where we need an LSC review for a CCADA scenario. So we are not authorized to do so. So if for that particular record, if Kaiso can help us in the market sim or map stage environment to just do an LSC review manually, it would be great. It would be.
Sure. Let me take a look at this CD ticket and we'll get back to you today.
Yeah, 228088. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Hi. Yes, this is Tony Girard from Power Settlements. I just want to follow up with what Trang had said about if you were going to test version 7, the notice for the whitelisting, would that have been a market notice?
Hi, Tony. I'm confirming with that project team right now. I believe that it was going to be a customer email that went out to those, the targeted communication for those that would have access to ADS. But I'm confirming with the team there. But if that's information that would be useful to you, I will send that to you also, in addition to Carlos. And then I'm following up with the project team to make sure that that information gets out to the broader ADS customers. Does that help?
Yeah, yes, it will. We may have some need to do that. So thank you.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you, Tony. So you and Carlos can look for some specific information from me, and then again, the project team will communicate more broadly. But if anybody else does have questions, please send an email to marketsim@kaiso.com, and we can get you that information ahead of the overall customer communication for that effort. Okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep. No problem.
Hey, Trang, this is Gina. Can I just make a quick comment about customer service notifications?
Yes.
So for the customer service notifications, I'm not sure if one went out, but so we can confirm that. But I do just want to let everybody know in terms of the ADS stuff, we did send a couple customer service notifications out previously. And one thing I want to mention that is coming through from a contact called California ISO Customer Service. So please make sure to check your spam just in case as well. It'll be coming from customer service at kaisocustomerservice.com. So just a quick reference there that it's not going to be coming from an email address at kaiso.com. So maybe just check your spam folders as well if you expect that you might have received one. We did send one out, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago to all ADS users. So maybe check that as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Gina, for the update. If there are no other questions, then we can wrap up this meeting. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining this meeting, and we'll see you again on 31st of August at 2 p.m. All right.